All right, so I thought I'd make a very quick video here addressing an issue that I've seen come up a couple times now regarding college football revamped and custom team making, and that is the problem of glitching sidelines once you've changed your stadium in dynasty mode. So say example, what I've done here, I've got Boise State, I've edited the team, custom field, custom jerseys. Here in the dynasty mode, I haven't changed the name or anything yet, but the one thing that I have changed is I've moved Boise State from their normal stadium to the generic one stadium in the dynasty tool using STAA, changing that to GenNRIC1. Just going to load into the game here now. So if anybody doesn't know what the glitching sideline issue is, they can see it here now. So yeah, Boise State has been moved to the generic one stadium. There are videos already online to show you how to change your team's stadium. I believe Goon Master has a great video on that where he shows you how to change your custom team to play out of any stadium that you want. I've selected generic one here, and we have a custom field that we have our own logo and end zones on. So I'm going to load into the game and you'll see the problem here now. It may not be evident right away, but when you get a glimpse of the sidelines, you'll see the problem here. So you can see the sidelines are completely glitching out. We have these weird visual artifacts from the game that are just kind of there instead of what's supposed to actually be there. And I've seen people ask how to fix this a bunch of times now on the server, the Discord server for College Football Revamped, and honestly, nobody's answered the question, which leads me to guess that nobody knows how to do this, or they don't give enough of a shit to tell you how to fix it. So I'm going to tell you how to fix it right now. Okay, so what exactly is the issue here? Where are these glitchy sidelines coming from? And honestly, the answer is I'm still not 100% certain, but I'm fairly sure that on some teams in NCAA football, whether it's updated sidelines or it was the stock sidelines, but it seems like that some of the sidelines in the game are a little funny. And the reason that I've come to this conclusion is that you can change stadiums for a bunch of games, a bunch of teams, and everything is fine. So like in Goonmaster's video, he shows you how to change your stadium for a team. I think he did Oregon, and everything was perfect, no issues. And honestly, a bunch of other people have changed teams, whether custom teams or teams that are already in the game, to different stadiums, and no issues. But every once in a while you hear, oh, I can't, my sidelines are glitching. What's going on? What's going on? And it doesn't seem to make sense. So I think it's seriously just there are a select few teams in the game that their sidelines are just freaky. And I especially think that that's true because I was using Boise State. If you have the game, go load up Boise State and just look at their sidelines. Stock game, no edits, nothing. They look kind of funny to me. They're just like this plain gray block with like no detail or anything at all. It's so different compared to everything else in the game. So I think that seriously, when you change the stadium with some of these teams, it just completely screws up the sidelines. Some teams more than others. Boise State appears to be really bad. I think this is coming down to something in the field RSF file itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a field RSF file of a team of a field that we know will work in the generic stadium, and we're going to take it and we're going to cut and paste it into our custom team field RFS RFS file. Okay, I know it's going to be easier to just watch it instead of hearing me explain it. So the first question is, well, I mean, what field do I use for this? And it's probably going to depend on what you're changing your stadium to. It might be a little bit of trial and error, but I will tell you this. I found out that this works by using University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV field. So I took the UNLV field and I took it and I started a dynasty and I changed it so that they could go and play in the generic one stadium, and it worked. No glitches. So I know that that particular field works in the generic one stadium. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to our AST editor and we're going to start extracting some files. If you've already made a custom team, you're probably very familiar with this. You probably know exactly what to do. If you don't, Glock Zero, an amazing video. Check it out. I'll link his video. I will link Goonmaster's videos, both in the description of this video. If you haven't done it, go check those out. What we're going to do, though, is a little very quick briefer. We'll come to the FE2IG organized spreadsheet. We're going to go down to our fields tab. We're going to look at Boise State. This is our field file here, 272, and I'm also going to be taking UNLV. It's file 445. We're going to extract those two AST files. Since I've already done work with both Boise and UNLV, I already have those files extracted and on my computer. So what I will do is very quickly, I will open up Boise State's field file. And this is what you should see. So this hasn't been edited yet. Probably familiar with this. This is your actual image. This is your field. You've probably already replaced this with your custom field, but you've probably ignored everything else in here, right? What we're really going to want to do here is see your RSF file here. We're going to want to extract that as well. And you're going to want to do the exact same thing for UNLV. You want to open up its field AST file like this, and you're going to want to extract the RSF file. So do that for both Boise and UNLV, or whatever team you're trying to fix in UNLV, and we'll get started off of that. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do is, now that you have both of your RSF files on your computer, you're going to want to open up your hex editor. So I'm using HXD. You can use whatever it is that you're comfortable with using. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open both our Boise and UNLV hex files. I'll open them both at the same time, so we have both of them at our disposal. Boom. So this is not going to look like anything you're probably familiar with, and that's okay. I know nothing about hex. I literally just tried this as a YOLO to see if this would work, and it works. So we know that there might be an issue with the Boise field RSF file. But I know that the UNLV RSF file works with the generic stadium. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all in the Boise State RSF file, and I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to come over to the UNLV RSF. I'm going to select all, and I'm going to copy, and we're going to paste it right on over to the Boise field RSF file. And we're going to save this. Be sure to save it exactly as it was named before, Boise S_field. Whatever team you're working on, make sure you do not change the name of this. If you want to, you can save a copy of the old RSF file somewhere. I would actually suggest you do that in case this doesn't work or something screws up. You have your old copy of your RSF file that you can go back to. What you want to do is you're going to want to save this under the appropriate name. And then what we're going to do is we're going to import that back into the AST file. Okay, so I have opened back up our Boise State AST file once again. So I'm going to kind of go through the process of updating this now as if you're creating your team for the first time. What I'm going to do is we'll put in our custom field file. So we'll replace that. Hold on. I got a lot of folders here. I got to find it. Import field. All right. And this is my custom field file. Perfect. But what we're also going to want to do is down at the RSF file, we are going to want to replace that as well. And then we're going to want to take what we just updated and put that in as well. And be sure to save this exactly as is, file 00272 or whatever yours is named. You do not want to be changing names for that. And then once again, take this, put this into your kql_fe2ig.ast file. If you don't know how to do that, I'm not going to go over it. Go watch Glock Zero's video. It's good. I promise you, you'll learn a lot. But what we're going to do then is once our kql fe2ig file is updated with this, including our updated RSF file that we copied and pasted another RSF into, we're just going to go ahead and put that back into our emulator. I'm using PS3. It shouldn't matter. It should work for both. And then we're going to see what does it look like after this update. Okay, so I have moved my game files back over to my PS3. If you're using emulator or computer, you don't have to do that. Just move your files into the right place. I would be using emulator if I could, but my computer would literally explode if I tried to open both the emulator and OBS at the same time. So, files are moved back over. Everything is updated. Let's look at our field.
Hi everybody, Reese Davis with you, bringing you the
So, looks like my jersey numbers are kind of clipping together there. I'll have to fix that. No problem. So anyway, we'll get a little overview of the over the top, and we'll see what it looks like. We'll just skip this, and here you go. Nice non-glitchy sidelines. Perfect, perfect. All right, get me down to that coin toss. Let me take one back here. So it seems like that the UNLV RSF file or RSF field file will work well for the generic 1 stadium. Whether or not this works for other custom stadiums like generic 2 or maybe some of like the practice fields, I don't know. I guess that'll be for people to figure out on their own. Play around with it. I'm going to be playing around with it myself. If anything comes up, let me know, and I'll let other people know if, hey, this works for generic 1, but it doesn't work for generic 2, stuff like that. But it seems like, yeah, editing and changing RSF files for problematic fields is probably what we got to do here. But anyway, yeah, that's it for me. Let me know if this works for you. Let me know if this doesn't work for you. Thanks, guys.